Peace is the main event. Once again, you're tuned into the best podcast for hip hop. If you truly love hip hop, you're at the right place. But check this out: the history of hip hop with her man JJ, Black Culture Radio. Every Friday night from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. USA time, 10 to 12 London time, 5 hours difference. Just stay in tune. The history of hip hop with my man JJ, exclusive interviews, and that good boom bap that we love. If you truly love hip hop, you will love this station, Black Culture Radio. Get in tune every Friday night.
And like I said, I have now on the line, Kingdom Come is in the house. How you doing, bro?
Check. Yo, respect, JJ. How you doing, brother? Honored to be
Yeah.
here. Yo, you rocking a Pete Rock shirt?
Yeah, man. Got my Pete Rock and CL Smooth on. Yeah, man.
That's fine.
Good eyes, man. Good eyes.
Oh,
Yeah, thank you for this, man. It is nice to have you along. I want to start at the beginning because obviously when you agreed to do this interview, I did a little bit of research into you. I don't like to do too much because I like to hear what the artist has got to say and find out from them what the answer to the question is. Do you know what I mean? I don't like researching too much. But obviously I researched a little bit and I wanted to get back to your musical genesis right back at the beginning. So I was reading about how you were kind of raised on kind of like revolution music from your parents. Can you just go a little bit into that? What kind of artists are we talking about, and why they were playing revolution music?
Yeah, 100%. Shout out to UK and South London in the house. Shout out to everyone tuned in worldwide. I mean, I come from a family of musicians.
Mm-hmm.
My grandfather was a jazz musicianist in Argentina. That's where both of my parents are from. That's where I was born.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I got tons of musicians in my family, from jazz to rock to, you know, traditional Argentinian music, which goes
Mm-hmm.
different genres of stuff. But always influenced with the arts. I mean, I remember being a baby and surrounded by artists, and art was always involved in my life.
Mm-hmm.
My mom was an artist as well. My father, so that's always been part of my upbringing. I was born in the '70s in Argentina during a time of like military dictatorship, so it
Mm-hmm.
was real wild. My parents were always rebellious. I think my mom was the first one to put me up on the Black Panthers and Mumia in the early '80s, so she was very advocate and socially aware of injustices, and that's something that it's molded my music, it's molded my being, and it's always been a part of who I am. Standing up for the oppressed, no matter what.
Mm-hmm.
Equality always. Um, so I mean, that the traditional Argentinian, I guess you'd call it rebel music in that time, anti-government, anti, saying something. Um, as an early youth, I remember, I was born in late '70s, raised early '80s, so I was there with the hip hop took off. I remember being a kid and listening to metal and Bad Brains and punk and roots reggae is like my heart, always been that. But when hip hop, when I was 8 or 9 or 10 and hip
Mm-hmm.
hop took over my life, then that Public Enemy, and that's it. That's it. I was
Mm-hmm.
hooked, and hip
Mm-hmm.
hop is my religion from that moment. So
Yeah.
I think my upbringing, and then my parents' social, awareness just became a stepping stone in my life, and it taught me to read up and learn on things, and it transcends in my music and who I am. So
Yeah.
it's a
All right.
staple of who I am.
Yeah. Thank you for that, man. Cool.
Sure.
Um, I wanted to ask you as well, because obviously, when we started connecting, I went on your profile. And
Mhm.
on your profile, it's got both lyricist and MC. Do you
Mhm.
see a distinction between the two? And if you do, what is it?
No, I think a lyricist and an MC are hand in hand. I mean,
Mm.
you got rappers and you got MCs. MCs,
Yeah.
move the crowd and are nice with the pen. And I consider myself a lyricist in the sense that, lyrics are the driving force of what I do.
Mm.
Um, but I think a lyricist and an MC is hand in hand. You got different tiers, you know. I
Yeah.
think lyricist is just maybe a cut above an MC, because an MC, you could be a nice MC, but if you a lyricist, you're a little more lyrical, a little more sharp with the blade. And
Mhm.
I don't know, for me, it kind of like, you know, when people like the worst insult you could tell me is, "Oh, you're a rapper." I'm like,
Mhm.
no, bro, I hate rappers. Don't I ain't no rapper, bro. Musician, lyricist, MC, I'll
Mhm.
take that. You know,
Yeah.
I don't like the pigeonholing, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I think that's that.
And you and I know that you have a couple of interests outside of hip hop as well. Also on your profile, it says taste maker. Can you get into the what you do with the food a little bit? Because I know there's some food on your profile as well that you like to show.
Oh man, I'm
Mm.
always eating. I travel a lot,
So
but
is
definitely
it
I'm.
just tasting food, or is it, or you
Oh
know,
man,
try to be
for
nice
me,
with
it's
the
all
chef
art,
skills as
bro.
well?
It's
You try to
all
be
in the
nice with the
time
chef
with
skills as
art.
well. Yeah.
Absolutely. Oh, I chef
Yeah.
up like a mug.
Uh,
I cook nasty. But I'm into the vintage game. You know, I wholesale vintage. I've been
yeah.
collecting 30 years. You know, you name it, hip hop memorabilia,
Mhm.
clothes, boxing stuff,
Mhm.
art. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I have a business where I deal in vintage goods. I supply a lot of stores. I
Yeah.
sell to a lot of celebrity clients, and I'm in the cannabis industry, which that allows me to tour and move and do my music how I do. So, you know, thanks to God, I'm able to move around and do things I love, and you know, able to do music for the love, you know, and I have
Mhm.
to rely on it as my sole income.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, I'm beyond
Yeah.
blessed in that lane.
Okay. So I want to get back to your early days. So you're in Miami. You're a
Hmm.
young guy. I mean, in a place like that, I mean, where you were, was that where a lot of people from South America were?
Yeah, I mean, I tell people all the time. I mean, Miami, you got the United States, and
Mm.
Miami is not part of the U.S. You know what I'm saying? Miami is its own. It's its own thing, brother. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
It's an extension of the Caribbean. It's
Mhm.
an extension of South America. So
Mhm.
I was a young youth. I was 10 months old, you know what I'm saying, when
Mhm.
my parents left Argentina with not knowing the language, not knowing anything, to
Mhm.
give me and my older sister a better life, you know. My younger sister was born there.
Mhm.
I was just a baby.
Mhm.
Um, hold on, my son's blowing me up to go pick him up. My bad. But yeah, early. I mean, yeah, it's a culture. You know,
Yeah. And
I don't know if South
does it?
Florida is like that with the influx of Jamaicans and West
Mhm.
Indians. You know, where you get a little bit of culture out there. But Miami was definitely, you know, you got the Caribbean, you got
Mhm.
South America,
Mhm.
you got all types of cultures,
And
and you know, I grew.
does everyone just mix in together, or do, like, you know, the Argentinians stay over here and, you know, the Cubans are over
I
there?
mean,
And
there's pockets, but I
Mhm.
mean, me growing up, I hung around with Zos, Jamaicans, Trinidadians, South Americans, you name
Mhm.
it, everything.
Yeah.
We was all one. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't like that. So I had to leave South Florida and be like, oh, it's not like this everywhere. Now I understand, like, you know, American racism and like different places in the South, and like, oh shit really is segregated. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, but as a young man making my rounds, you know, I grew up. I landed in Miami Beach, but I grew up in North Miami Beach, Ives
Mhm.
Dairy. That's my stomping grounds. That's where I came up.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, man, I could say it was. I mean, 13, 14. I started, you know, like I said, once hip hop came into my life, I was 10, 11. Got really big into graffiti early on.
Mhm.
Always writing poetry and always writing lyrics, but it was never like raps. I didn't like take that serious till I was about like 15 or 16.
Yeah.
Started like battling and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, graffiti, hip hop, you know, once that came in my life, it was over, you know.
Right. Okay. Before we get more into the hip hop, just quickly over to do you still get over to Argentina a lot? Do you still have connections there? How different is the country now from when your parents left?
I mean, it's wild. I mean, shout out to the Low Life Argentina chapter, my brothers Blas and Marf and all them. Shout out to all the lows worldwide. Um, man, it's crazy. I mean, I left when I was 10 months old,
Mm.
right? And then went back and I was about 8 or 9, and I stayed
Mm.
about a year with my grandparents.
Okay.
It was amazing, just to have that connection. Like in my house, Spanish was the first language, and
Mhm.
English was the second. Then I went back when I was like 15 or 16, and I lived there for about a year, and it was good because kind of took me out of some stuff that I was doing here, probably going the wrong route. So a little bit of reality check. But I
Mhm.
hadn't been back since I was 16 for like 15, 20 years, and
Mm.
I went back a couple years ago with my old man and my son. And it was just beautiful to go with like my pops, my son, and me, and just it was a whole different world for me. Like when I was going there, I'd take rap tapes and put my cousins on, and like it was very small pocket of like b-boys and graph artists and real hip hop purists and aficionados. And now it's like to see it's there's a big movement out there.
Mhm.
Um, so it's beautiful, man. I go by there at least once or twice a year. I'm planting more seeds there to be out there a lot more often.
Yeah.
So the rap group I
Right.
got this more like Spanish stuff. So yeah, 100%. That's home. I'll eventually be there full time.
All right. Cool. And now getting into the hip hop, when you were getting started in it, um, you said you started battling and stuff like that. Once you started getting involved in it, like personally, um, did what was that a writing thing, or were you battling first and started writing afterwards, or how did it kind of materialize for you actually getting your hands dirty?
Word. I mean, freestyling with your boys, smoking weed, cutting school, doing what any 15, 16-year-old does, getting
Mm.
into trouble. You know what I'm saying? It started off just that, just freestyling and bullshitting. And then, I developed a knack for it to when I was finally like, I was writing because I always wrote, but I never like took it serious. It was always just, messing around. But yeah, once I started to like really freestyle and battle and plant my wave in that, it developed a certain hunger in me, and I took
Mm.
it serious up until my early 20s, mid 20s, when I started
Uh-huh.
getting real professional with the music.
Oh,
Before that it was just a hobby and something to do.
right. And when you sort of like took it seriously, like I can do this, for a living or whatever. Was that a realization that you came to yourself, or did you have someone kind of like pushing you, like, what I mean, you nice, go do that?
Yeah, I mean, I remember early on. I mean, that's kind of how I got the name Kingdom. Just out of like rap ciphers, people would like be like, "Damn, boy, you're nice. You'll blow them to Kingdom Come," and it just stuck with me. I
Okay.
really like. And then it has a deeper meaning. It symbolizes the hereafter, and you could take the religious aspect of it, and it just
Mm.
stuck with me. But yeah, developing the skills, and I had a crew early on in my early teens to early 20s. The first crew I was with, we had a label, we had a studio.
Mm.
We were ahead of our time, in that realm. And it was a group of us, and it was an amazing time, and it was kind of like the creation of who I am.
Mhm. Okay, cool. So you've worked with, a laundry list of dope artists: Killer Priest, Tragedy Gaddafi, Conway, The Machine, and Knack, many, many more. Who was the first artist that you worked with that you were like, oh man, I've made it? You know what I mean, who's the artist where you were like, you kind of like had to be on your, you had to be like sharp because you knew that if you weren't, they'd kind of like blow you out the water. Who were you kind of in awe of that you worked with?
I mean, for me, I'm always gonna be that hip hop fan, that purist, that kid that's like amazed that I get to work with people that my superheroes that I idolize. But if it
Hmm.
were to be one artist, it'd be Wise Intelligent from Portland.
Yeah.
Huge fan. To me, one of the illest, one of the nicest,
Mm.
and to be able to do a joint with him was amazing for me. So I'd say, yeah, definitely
Mm.
Wise Intelligent from Poor Righteous
Okay.
Teacher.
Oh yeah, of course, man. And I mean, who's left? I mean, is there any dream collabs that you still think about? Or
Absolutely, man. I have a rapport with,
Hmm,
or that I've had or created some type of relationship.
hmm,
To me, that's the most important thing. I mean,
yes,
there's a long list of artists I'd love to work with in different genres, but I have something really amazing coming with Ill Bill that I'm a huge fan of.
hmm.
Me and Ill Bill got a really dope record.
Oh,
Dropped
yeah.
here. Um, as far as in the hip hop space, I mean, I'm working on something with Raz Kaz, who's one of my favorites.
Hmm,
Um, Man, you name it, you name it. I mean,
yeah,
there's a lot of other artists I like to work with in different genres, but
yeah,
man, I'm just inspired by everyone. So like when I feed off energy and different people, so that's the most important thing.
yeah. All right, man. I want to quickly talk about Los Chicos Criollos, which is you and Shay Uno, who I'm also a big fan of. Is there something about you two working together? Because you seem to have like a lot of stuff together. What is it about working with Shay Uno that you just want to do more and more with him?
I mean, that's my twin, man. It's funny. We came under each other's radar. We had like a very similar upbringing. He was born in Argentina.
Mm,
Um, Immigrated to Canada when he was younger. Um, a hip hop purist, a student of the game, someone
yeah,
who carries on tradition and really elevates this game. And we came into each other's off a mutual fan. There was like I don't know. I did a feature for a young cat in Argentina, and he was like, "Yo, you gotta do something with Che Uno," and I had never heard of him really. Um, he ended up reaching out to me for a feature. We ended up chopping it up, and we're like, "Yeah, we'll do a couple joints." We did a couple tracks, and instantly we just hit it off. You know what I'm saying?
mhm,
Like we elevate each other's pen, and then it's very seldomly you'll find the way we do the Spanglish stuff. There's no one fucking with us. Like
mhm,
we can go from English to Spanish, and then the way we dominate and just like however it comes out, it comes out.
yeah,
It's just a special chamber for me. That's my brother, Beyond the Music. Like yeah, we gonna keep pushing that LCC banner, and it's just fun for me. It opens up another side of my brain when I
yeah,
do stuff in Spanish or Spanglish. I'm saying it's a homage to both of our Argentinian roots, and we really delve into our culture
mhm,
with the slang, with the references. So, we're getting a lot of support for that, not only in Argentina and South America, but Europe is messing with the movement big time. So we want to appreciate everyone that's tapping into that LCC movement. We got a lot more things in store.
yeah. Of course, man. Like I say, I've been a fan of Shay Uno for a couple of years now. Stuff that he did with King Bondolero and what I mean,
Oh yeah.
stuff like that. So when I heard that you two were getting together and doing that, I was definitely excited about that. Um, you're very prolific with your output. Is that a strike while the iron's hot type situation, or is that how you've always done it?
Honestly, brother, it's my work ethic I think is unmatched.
Mm,
But just the last 2 3 years, I think I'm in a comfortable zone where I don't give a fuck anymore. Like
mhm,
I used to worry about the musical aspect. Like I had to teach myself engineering and publishing and music business, and I've been in numerous crews and had numerous labels, and the woes of the music industry. I could write a book on it.
mm,
The highs, and lows, the success, everything I've been through, like everything. Um, I just never stopped, bro. And
mm.
I feel like now the world is finally like starting to be like, oh shit. And I'm
Yeah.
like, bro, I've been 20 plus years, like y'all just getting onto it now. So
Mm,
um I feel like in the last 2 3 years I've definitely been like, all right, let me I battle with myself a lot. I don't want to put out too much music. And then, because in this day and age, the fast food, even if the shit's hot, like it lives 2 3 weeks a month, and then
mm,
people on the next shit. And like I treat every project, every song like it's a work of art for me. It's an extension of my soul. Like I
Mm.
pour thing. But I feel like I'm in a zone right now where motherfuckers ain't fucking with me. So it's just like, fuck it, I'm gonna let them fly. You know what I'm saying? I'm just real comfortable where I'm at right now
Yeah,
in my artist, and I'm just comfortable. So I'm just like,
yeah.
fuck it, flex. You
Because what
know?
I like to do, obviously, when I'm talking to someone, like after I finish talking to them, I like to play a song by them. So I was looking through the songs that I wanted to play of yours, and you know, it was a very hard decision because there's the Los Chicos Criollos. I didn't go with that because I've been playing your tracks on my show for the last couple of months anyway. And then there's
Word.
the one with G Fan Black, also the one with Equation Beats. You know what I mean? There was so much for me to choose from. I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, but I've chosen a track now, and it's all dope as well. So it was a really hard choice, but
Got a
yeah.
joint
So sorry.
called Brixton. Sorry, my bad. No, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
Yeah,
Um,
I was done. Carry on.
play over there for all the fam out in UK. It's called Brixton 1981. Check that one. It's
Yeah,
on
yeah.
my Asian
Yeah,
album.
that's my stomping grounds, man. That's where my grandparents used to live in Brixton. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Who do you listen to when you're not recording or performing? I mean, outside of the people that you know, like
Yeah.
who are you excited to hear a new project from and stuff like that?
I mean, I keep my ear to the streets and
Mm,
check out everything. But when I'm in recording mode, which is I'm doing 2, 3 songs, 4 songs a day,
mm,
whether it's pen or recording, I'm always putting out music, you know. But honestly, I listen to a lot of roots reggae, 70s and 80s roots. I listen
mhm.
to a lot of sax records, soul records, um, old shit, bro. I don't really listen to new shit, you know?
All
Like my
right.
son put up on all the new shit, but like if
Mm,
you're talking about these, I mean, what am I excited for? I'm excited to hear that Most Def Alchemist project.
mm,
Um anything ST Knack drops, I love it. Um yeah, man, I listen to my people. That's about it, bro. I try to not get too much influence because
yeah.
I think it interferes my creative process a bit, you know.
Okay.
Even so,
Um, what is your opinion on the state of the game? Because I I'm a couple years older than you, so I came up I could sort of caught onto hip hop the same time you did. You know what I mean? Sort of Tila Rock and you know what I mean, early Eric B and Rakim and stuff like that.
yeah,
So I'm what's considered an old head, but I'm loving hip hop now. You know what I mean? Like
bro.
the stuff that's out, it's dope. You know what I mean? So what's your opinion on the state of the game? Because I listen to so many people my age, our age, saying that hip hop died in the '90s or early 2000s or whatever. What's your opinion?
Man, I'm not one of those old heads that like,
Mm,
like, oh, hip hop died. If you're not listening, some of the dopest shit is coming out now. The
mm,
game's outdated. I mean, like, hip hop lives in the underground now, and I feel like
mm,
we're back up top. Like, there's
mm.
been so much progression of fast food music and just trash that people want substance and quality again. So they're
Yeah.
coming to the underground, like, yo, feed us. This is what we've been doing. It ain't nothing different.
Mm,
We've been hip hop is the voice of the kicking that
mm,
rock shit, braggadocio shit, but there's always, social commentary and just
mm,
I think the game is doper than ever. There's amazing artistry out right now. There's
mhm.
so much that, inspire me. Some of these younger cats, some of the cats making waves, like, this it's dope, man. The game's
Mm.
doper than ever, personally think,
Yeah, man. Yeah, yeah. Okay then. Yeah.
You you
So
can't be stuck on the 80s and 90s, like the
yeah.
90s was my golden era because
Mm,
it's sentimental. So shit I hear from that era to me it has a certain resonance because of
mhm,
where I was in youth. But man, you can't, I ain't trying to be stuck back there. You gotta
yeah.
elevate and with the
Yeah,
times.
you have to move on, man. Especially like you said, I'm like you. I have a very eclectic taste in music, and I think that if you're a music lover and you have an eclectic taste, you can't stay back there. You have to, you know, what I mean,
Nah, bro.
you can go back there. I mean, obviously through listening to hip hop, that's how I got into like 70s and 80s, 70s soul.
Yeah, you
You know
listen
what I
to Sam.
mean? Because I wasn't raised on that. It was hip hop that brought me onto that. But you always have to be kind of like, you know what I mean, elevating your vision for new stuff. You have to, I think, especially if you're a music lover like me, and if you're an artist like you. I don't think you can be stuck in one genre or one time period, man. That's what I
I
think
love
about it.
it,
So,
bro.
where can people find you? Just give everyone your socials and where they can find you and all your stuff.
Yeah, no doubt. So I mean, the Instagram and Twitter is at Kingdom Come. Come is with a K. So
Hmm.
Kingdom Kome. The
Hmm.
website Kingdom Come Music.
Hmm.
Yeah, and just look me up. I'm everywhere. Steal
All
the
right.
Music. There's 20 plus albums. The catalog's extensive. I'm
Hmm.
dropping 6 or so albums this year that I got in the chamber. So we just working, man, putting out quality art.
Yeah. All right, man. So thank you for your time, man. It's an absolute pleasure to speak to you. And hopefully I'll speak to you again soon. All right.
Yeah, brother. Much love.
All right, man. Peace.
Peace, respect, salute.
Catch me 10 p.m. to 12 a.m. every Friday on Black Culture Radio. And don't forget that you can listen to any show you want at any time on Mixcloud. If you go to mixcloud.com and put JJ Music Lover 75 into the search bar, you'll find all my shows and mixes.